What's going on, guys? It's Dill here from the Yakuza, and I just wanted to have a little change of pace, have a little One Piece discussion about the implications of Chapter 956, what all of this is going to mean moving forward, 957 and beyond. We'll start with and I apologize if you hear any like crickets or like cars driving by because I'm outside, but sometimes it's nice to just sit outside and vent. Summer, the weather's nice, but we'll start with the abolishment of the Shishibukai and something that I think a lot of people aren't thinking about with it yet. Um, the Shishibukai are obviously extremely strong pirates from Mihawk and Boa specifically. Like Weevil's pretty strong too. Bucky's obviously not that strong, but when the government completely like disbands the Shishibukai and just makes them pirates again, that kind of references the quote that we repeatedly hear where you either ally yourself with a Yonko or you have to take one down. So what this really means is that Mihawk and Boa and Weevil and Buggy, they're just going to join one of these Yonko crews and make the Yonko stronger. So I think that is a weakness from the Marines' perspective. It's like a con as far as disbanding the Shishibukai, because like now you have Mihawk's allying himself with Shanks. Like obviously, like now Mihawk will like go around and do like stuff on his own, but if something happens, like if somebody like tries to fight Shanks, like Mihawk's gonna be there. Like if Shanks decides to go against the Marines, he's gonna have Mihawk. I could see Boa allying herself with either Shanks or Luffy, not really joining their crew, but just coming to help them. Shanks from the perspective of he is like somebody that Luffy looks up to, and Bo's obviously like obsessed with Luffy. Weevil, not sure who he would really align with, but basically these guys aren't going to be able to just freelance in the new world. I mean, Mihawk is like questionably as strong as like an Admiral or a Yonko. Like we don't really know, but we know he spars with Shanks, so like he could last like independently, but he definitely would ally himself with Shanks if anybody. And I can just see all the warlords allying themselves with Yonko. So that's one thing. They're trying to bring the Shishibukai in, which really makes no sense if you think of, sorry, there's a car driving by, which really makes no sense if you think about it. Like the people that they're sending to bring the Shishibukai in, like if you're not sending an admiral, or at least like one or two admirals to get Mihawk, like you're not going to be able to catch him. You might as well not even waste Marines on that. Like you might as well not even waste Marines on that. Like you're not going to be able to just send like a rear admiral or like just a fleet. Like Mihawk is like a god, dude. Like so them even trying to take in Mihawk without sending like Green Bull or Fujitora or Kizaru makes no sense to me. Kobe going to get Boa. I really hope that there's a fight that they don't off screen. Like I hope that they fight and it's not off screen, because I think that would be a really good fight. I would say that Boa is probably stronger than Kobe. Like I don't know if Kobe's like ready for all that yet, but Kobe's like getting stronger at an incredibly fast rate, and Kobe is like, I like Kobe a lot. So I'd like to see Kobe like beat Boa. I just don't know if he's there yet. There's another car driving by. As far as Sabo, okay? As far as Sabo, I don't think he's dead. In the live react, I was so shocked by it that I was just in denial, saying like just praying to God that he's not dead, because Sabo's like probably my second favorite One Piece character. Like Sanji's my favorite, then probably Sabo. But he's not dead. There's something going on. They probably killed Cobra there. Like I think that's like the highest chance. Like if I would have to put my money on something that happened at Reverie, like if I had to bet on something, it would be Cobra's death. And I think that Sabo might be captured by them. Sorry. I think Sabo might be captured by them and then framed for killing Cobra or something, because you know Cobra's obviously allied with the world government, so it would make sense to the world that Sabo, who's a revolutionary who opposes the world government, would kill him. So maybe I've seen some people saying that they're gonna frame Sabo for killing the Tenryubi B2, and just a bunch of stuff like that. I think it's something like that, and it would be. I know I'm asking for way too much here from Oda because he never like gives us shit like this, but it'd be really, 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 really nice to see Sabo actually captured, and then Dragon go and save him. Like Dragon just infiltrates the world government and fights like 3 admirals at the same time. I know that's way too much to ask for, especially in the midst of the Wano and the battle getting ready to start. But it would be nice to see the Revolutionary Army intervene because, I mean, what? It's not only Sabo that was like, that they're saying was murdered, but obviously, Karasu was with him and Morley. So, like, they're gonna need their commanders. So Dragon is, if they captured those 3, like who's the only person that can go free them? Dragon. So I think Dragon will go. I just think it's probably gonna be off screened, which is horrible. I hate when Oda does that, but it is what it is. Moving forward with Wano and what we're about to see in Act 3, we're not at, even, I know it's 1 day. Are we at 1 day before the, yeah, we're at 1 day before the raid. Like everybody's about to meet up at the port. And obviously Orochi knows, like he got information like from a trader or something on the port they're gonna meet at. So there's gonna be some complications. I think what we're about to see is some what would you call it? Like we're about to see the undercard of the war. We're about to see a few people get fights before the actual war starts. I think a couple fights will break out. They won't go into great detail or anything. It's not going to be like some long blown out fight, but I could see a couple of our either Straw Hats or Alliance members, you know, 9 Red Scabbards, Calamar, like I could see some fights breaking out before this raid. There's gonna, nothing ever goes smoothly, you know that. Like it's not, in storytelling, like, you know, we got this certain day that we're going to do this, that's the plan. There's always a curveball, like in every story, dude, you know that there's always a curveball, like right before they're about to execute, that they have to somehow solve. So, you know, it would be cool, I think, to see, like, let's say, like, Sanji, Usopp, Chopper, just some random people, like Sanji, Kawamatsu, Usopp, they, let's say, like, the Oni Wabon and, like, some of the Beast Pirates go to the port to disrupt it, and like Sanji, Kawamatsu, and Usopp, just for example, it could be anybody, but like those 3 like stay there and they're like, you guys go on ahead, like we'll take care of this, and then that way that everything can go as planned, and then they obviously have to take care of the mess. I think we really, if our Straw Hats specifically, because I'm really I love like One Piece and how fleshed out it, like the One Piece universe, how fleshed out everything is. But I think that we have a lot of underdeveloped main characters. I think that outside of Luffy and Zoro, that Sanji through Brook, like Sanji through the rest of the crew, they all need like fights like very soon, so that we can start developing their strength, so that by the end of the series, when Usopp fights Van Augur, it's not unrealistic that he wins. So I think now is the time. In Wano, we should have our Straw Hats fighting like main people, and then the rest of the people that we have like fighting either fodder or just off screen in their fights. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys think. Comment down below if you think that people like Usopp and Brook and Robin need fights, because I sure as hell think they do. You only grow through experience. Like, it's just like Rayleigh says, like the flower of hockey like blooms in the most dire of situations. So Usopp having observation and shit, like we need him to get that future sight. We need him to get like super unlocked observation and even armament. So I'm not talking about Usopp a lot. He's one of my favorite characters. He's super underdeveloped. Something I forgot to mention was the whole sword thing, and how Drake is secretly a undercover Marine, which I think a lot of us saw coming. Like, I didn't necessarily think he was an undercover Marine. I did think that he was like a defected Marine, but that he would ally himself with the Straw Hat Alliance just to get out of his situation. But it's not really that big of a shocker that he is a Marine. I think it would have been a bigger, I think it would have, sorry, I think it would have been a bigger deal if there wasn't so much other stuff in this chapter, like, you know, the Sabo thing, the Shishibukai getting basically getting hunted down and all this. Like the whole sword thing, the whole, like, it's one of those things where there's so many chapters where literally nothing happens, where it's like a weird world building backstory, and you have a chapter like this where like 4 different huge things happen, and like a lot of the times just the one big thing overshadows the other things, if that makes sense. So I do think that sorry about getting off track. So Kobe and Drake are in a secret subdivision of the Marines called SWORD, which is, yeah, it's just like the CIA, the FBI, whatever you want to say. They're like secret agents. As far as speculating who else would be in it, I would say definitely Kuzan is a no-brainer. That's the only person I can really think of that would be in it. Like, it would make so much sense for Kuzan to be in it, because it's kind of the same situation as Drake, but to a more extreme extent. Like, you have these Marines that, instead of trying to fight like these Yonko head on, because it'd be hard, like, it'd be hard, it kind of make you, it's kind of like the teach thing, where like Teach will like attack people when they're not looking. Like, if the Marines want to take down Kaido and Wano, like, you know, they send fucking Kizaru, Fujitora, Green Bull to Wano to shut shit down, then that's when Teach swoops in at their most vulnerable. You see what I'm saying? So like, they don't really have the resources to be fighting all these Yonkos head on. If they go too many resources into one situation, and that leaves them in a weakened state. So I would say that what SWORD is really trying to do is to try to destroy the Yonko from the inside, like subtly. Like, they're trying to deal like small blows to weaken them. That way, when they do send like a Fujitora to Wano, or like, that's obvious, that's not what I'm saying is going to happen. I'm just saying, like, you basically have Drake like doing the damage he can from the inside, so when they send like Kizaru, Fujitora, somebody to Wano, it would be a lot easier for them, if that makes sense. But yeah, the only other person I can really think of that would be a part of the SWORD operation would be Kuzan. I see a lot of people saying Son Goku and Garp. I think it's realistic that they could be. I'm just not going to say that yet until we know, because Garp and Son Goku are really, like, I'm not going to go as far as to say that every person that's a good Marine is going to be in SWORD, you know what I'm saying? So I do think that they definitely could be in there, though. Actually, I saw people saying that maybe Smoker and Tashigi might be a part of SWORD. I think that would be really cool, just because of their relationship with the Straw Hats and the world government, and them realizing that the world government a lot of times are at fault. So I think that would be really cool if they put SWORD into if they put Smoker and Tashigi in SWORD. But Act 3 of Wano, like what I need from 957 and beyond, and my expectations, is just, I need fights, man. I need people scrapping. I need less world building. I'm not a hater. I do get pretty frustrated sometimes that we will off screen a Sanji versus Page 1, but then have a chapter full of like crazy backstory about like a fox that's like a shapeshifter with Yukimaru. And don't get me wrong, that was freaking beautiful. Like, I love that stuff. But at the same time, I don't want it to be at the expense of good fights. Like, I know One Piece is an adventure manga and everything, but if there wasn't fighting in One Piece, it wouldn't, like, you have to admit, like, if there wasn't these like crazy fights and crazy strong people in One Piece, it wouldn't be what it is. So like, sometimes we do have to give people, like, you can do both. You can definitely do both. Like, you can have good fights and world build. You gotta do it right. You gotta not drag out like some things. Like, do the best world building, and then cut out some of the world building that's not so important, and just give us some fights. Don't off screen that Sanji versus Page 1. Don't, like, that's what I'm really hoping. I think Wano has the potential to be the greatest One Piece arc of all time, and also just one of the greatest arcs in Shonen if it's done right, with so many moving parts and everything. So if Act 3 is done right and they don't off-screen a bunch of fights, and they give us at least like 1 to 2 chapter fights, even with miscellaneous characters, I think that it has endless potential, man. So as far as Act 3, what I think Oda will do, because of all the world building in the first 2 acts, I think he might actually let us see some of these 1v1s. Like, I really think that he's going to give the fans what they want. I hope that it's just not a bunch of, I hope that other people get a fight, like other characters we care about, like Zoro, Sanji. Obviously Zoro will, because of how he's been built up, but Sanji, our other Straw Hats, Chopper, Brook, Usopp, Frankie, Robin. Even if you put like 2 of them, even if you put like Sanji fighting Queen with Usopp as support, like even stuff like that, man, that would be beautiful. Like, it doesn't all have to be 1v1s, but just show us actual fights and don't off-screen them. Don't have Sanji line up to fight like somebody crazy strong, and then, oh, over here, Momo's reflecting on like Yasuo. Like, just come on. Like, we need scrapping. That's what we need in Act 3. That's what I predict will happen in Act 3. There's been a lot of build up to this war. It's supposed to make Marineford like look like nothing, and we know there's a lot of fighting in Marineford. So I'm just hoping it'll start in Act 3. I hope that it's not Luffy centric, because a lot of times, even like, let's say Whole Cake Island, where it was supposed to be the year of Sanji, it wasn't, man. The significant fights were all Luffy. Sanji got these like little small like sparring sessions, and it was just all focused on Luffy. And I love seeing Luffy fight, but like, it gets old that like Luffy is the only person we ever get to see fight like that. Like, give me like a 10 chapter fight where Zoro's fighting King, and we're going between like the different factions in Wano and what they're doing, and like the time, and like Luffy versus Katakuri. You know what I mean? Like, you can have somebody fight and then go flash to other, like, do a few pages of the fight in a chapter and then flash to what's happening around like Wano. Like, you can do stuff like, you can world build and fight in the same chapter. It's not that hard. So that's what I'm really hoping for and predict. I think that there's going to be some intervention from another Yonko. I think that Shanks questionably might step in. I think Shanks is the front runner for stepping in. At first I thought the revolutionaries might, just because Wano is like the stereotypical country that would need freed, and that, like, it's like, what better country, like, oh shit, I think my focus, okay. What better like place would the Revolutionary Army be able to like help than Wano, who's like a completely military ruled, suppressed, like, dude, this country like needs so much help. Like, it would make so much sense for the revolutionaries to come. So unless they come at the end, like after Dragon takes care of the Sabo situation, I don't know if they can come, even though that would be if I could pick, I would want them to come. But I can see Shanks stepping in for sure with the whole, like, I mean, who knows, like, possibly the government might ask Shanks to step in, you know what I'm saying? Because like, somebody's gonna have to, like, either the Marines or Shanks is gonna have to step in, because you can't just let 2 Yonko form together. Like, people don't think they're having a tea party. Like, if there's a Kaido Big Mom alliance, like, it needs taken down now, or this entire world might be ruled over by these 2 like these 2 Yonko. So somebody is going to have to step in. I mean, Drake is telling Kobe, like, you know, they made an alliance, and like, the Marines have enough intel that they will be able to tell that they made an alliance. So something's gonna happen. We know that Luffy and the Straw Hat Alliance can't handle 2 Yonko forces as much as we love Luffy. We didn't even think he could handle Kaido and the Beast Pirates by himself. So there's going to be a lot of moving parts here, guys, and I really hope we see Shanks or the Marines step in. It would be amazing to see Shanks' crew versus Kaido's crew, like to see Ben Beckman versus King, Shanks versus Kaido. Like, dude, you couldn't. Lucky Roo versus Queen, like, they have the same body, dude. Like, that is me dreaming. That is honestly me dreaming, because that doesn't really leave anybody for the Straw Hats to fight, which is like my only reason why I think it might not happen, but I would enjoy it. So comment down below, guys, what do you think is going to happen in Act 3 after this huge chapter 956, what the implications were, who do you think would win in a fight, Boa versus Kobe? What do you want to see in Act 3, and what do you think will actually happen in Act 3? Comment down below, guys. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and hit the notification bell if you would like to join the Yakuza. Thanks, guys.